Hello everyone, and welcome back to this lesson on exploring Hugging Face datasets. In this lesson, we'll take a look at how we can load a dataset from Hugging Face. We'll take a look at one of the most famous formats called the Alpaca format. We will use it in the certification program to fine-tune our LLMs. And the idea is going to be the same whether you work with this format or other formats. So you'll be able to apply the concepts that you learn if you decided to work with some other formats. So in this lesson, we will be using the Datasets package, which is provided by Hugging Face, and we'll be loading this dataset. So let's take a look at the dataset page. So this is the dataset that we are loading, and you'll see it has 4 different columns: instruction, input, output, and text. So the first thing that you notice that sometimes the input field is empty, and this is because sometimes the instruction itself might be sufficient. So the instruction is a prompt on its own. So an example is give 3 tips for staying healthy. So if you provide this to the LLM, probably you don't need to provide anything else. The LLM can start listing out some answers, and you can see here is another example. Evaluate this sentence for spelling and grammar mistakes, probably. And yeah, you have now to provide the sentence itself. So this is an instruction that needs an input, which is the sentence. In this case, you would provide the instruction, and then you would start providing the sentence, which is the input, and then the LLM starts giving the answer. So this is basically what the Alpaca format is all about. It's an instruction, an optional input. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't, and then an output. And if you look at the text, it's going to be a concatenation of everything together. So here's the instruction. The input is this fraction. So the instruction is explain why the following fraction is equivalent to 1/4, and then the fraction is the input, and then the explanation is the output. If you look at the final text, here is what it looks like. So it's more like a template where you have below is an instruction that describes the task. So this is some fixed part that you will find in all the rows, and then 3 hashes, and then the word instruction. This is what marks that the instruction is about to start, and then you copy whatever is here, and then again 3 hashes followed by an input, and then you copy what's here, and then the response, and you copy what's there. So yeah, the text column is just a combination of everything else. So this is one of the very widely used formats. We'll use it in this lesson, and we'll be loading this dataset. And let's check. So the dataset contains a single split, so it's not split into train and validation. It contains 52 rows, and here are the columns that the dataset has. So if we look at some examples, I know we've seen this in the UI, but let's print 2 examples here. So you can see this is an instruction that does not need an input. So in this case, the input is empty, but you have an output. And then the following text would be like this. In this case, you have the instruction, but we don't put in the input because it's not there. And this is another example where you have an instruction, an input, and output. So in this case, you put them all together. And let's see. So the minimum length of a sentence is 0. I don't know why, probably some missing data or something. And then the longest one is 4,000 characters. 60% of them have an empty input field. So this is actually very common to have an empty input. And then what we can do is split the dataset into train and validation. So for this, we just call the method provided by Hugging Face, train test split. We're going to do 10%, and this way we have a split dataset object, which is more like a dictionary that has 2 keys, train and test. And yeah, the training samples is 46,000, and validation is 5,000. So now you've seen how to load datasets from Hugging Face. In future videos, we will take a step more and see how we can process these datasets. How can we actually convert them to numbers and pass them to an LLM? So this will be covered in future videos. for now, just focus on knowing how you can load datasets. And yeah, that's it for this part. In the next part, we will see how you can create your own dataset and push it to Hugging Face, so that everything in the training process afterwards becomes very easy. So that's it for this video. I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you in the next one.